Hi, this is Zach Meir with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Wednesday, the 19th of October. Starting off with the FTSE 100, which has been rather disappointing over the last 24 hours, failing above the 200-day line there around 75, 76.46, and bouncing off the 50-day line 75.10 this morning. I'd like to see it stay above the August uptrend line there at 74.60. On an end-of-day close basis. RSI on the wrong side of neutral 50 now, which is disappointing, and that RSI trace failing in the upper 50s or around 60, not a great sign, but while we're above that 74.60 area, at least we can avoid a potential retest of the main support, 73.70, which is post-September support for this market. Moving along to the DAX, and here it's been about the falling May trend channel, which looks like it's breaking at the moment. 15,000 basically the level there. We've got the old or the initial October support there around 14,900. Below that is that we have the risk of a test of March support towards 14,500, just because April to October has been a rather horrible looking multi-failure, multi-top for this market. This stage only back about 15,300, which is the initial resistance of this week, gets the market out of jail. Hopefully, we will find support around the 15,000 level and the worst won't happen. Going on to the Dow, and here you can see that it's another failure here at the 200-day line. That's rising there at 33,800. We didn't make it up to the 50-day line, 34,200. And there is now the risk of testing the floor of that rising trend channel from this time last year, 32,000 or 33,000 in fact, is the line there. RSI at 45, so on the wrong side of 50 as well. We need to really see this market back above that 50-day moving average probably to get it out of the negative spin it's had since the beginning of August. Moving along to Bitcoin, and here this market on the right side of the 200-day moving average, that's around 28,000. Above that, we're looking for at least a retest of the 30,000 area. Best case scenario up to 34,000 by the end of next month. Support here at the 50-day line and the floor of that rising trend channel from back in January at 26,700. Hopefully that will be the support for this market. Uptrend line in the RSI window helping give this situation momentum, as is the way the 50-day line is now rising there quite nicely. Onto the stocks, and starting off again with Avacta, just because it's up and that upsets one or two people. Here we've got the shares at 140, which was an old target there, above 40 on an end-of-day close basis, and we are looking for a return to the mid-160s and that second resistance line there from back in March this year. On the downside, we've got that uptrend line, which saved the stock earlier in the week at £1.30 now. So hopefully that would be the limit of any downside. The RSI at 57 is on the right side of neutral 50, and hopefully that will also cause the shares to consolidate at better levels. Moving along to Capital Metals, which has been one of the stars of the last couple of weeks. Here we're making progress through the 5 pence zone. Support coming in today at 4.5 pence, which was initial resistance last week. So above 4.5 now, looking for up to 7 pence by the end of next month, maybe even by the end of this month. We're happy with the rising 50 and 200-day moving averages as well, even though the RSI is still very overbought. A stock which is at the other end of the scale at the moment is Ethernity Networks, so where there's the first sign of a turnaround, the broadening triangle base. We had a hammer candle back on Monday, and we've got bullish divergence with the lower lows that we've had so far this week. That might allow the shares to get back to the, I suppose, the support, the old support there around 0.65. That would be an initial target while we remain above 0.3, but obviously you're catching a bit of a falling knife there. Moving on to Hummingbird, which is revived with the recent interview and also the revival of the gold price, which has also had a decent bounce. Here you can see that we've got a rising 200-day line, which is great. I'm probably just waiting now for a rising the 50-day line to start rising there at 10.5 pence. Above the 50-day line now, looking for 14 pence, which was August resistance on the way down, but a nice rebound there for Hummingbird. Going on to the Aquis market, which most people are sort of slightly wary of, but here it is with Intelliqo, which is one of the best performers since the summer. just waiting for the shares to get above 16 pence and the 50-day line, and that would hopefully give us a new leg to the upside. The guess that the top of the channel there is at 27 pence would be a guess for the shares hitting that as soon as the end of next month, or maybe, I suppose, it's a decent end of year target. Ideally, we stay above the 14 pence level and the floor of that rising trend channel from July. Moving on to Orcadian, which has also had a good time in the recent past. The turnaround on net zero, or the U-turn rather, helping the shares. We bounced off the old September peak there around 18.25 pence, so old resistance becoming a new support, which is healthy. Back towards hopefully 25 pence this week, and then the big prize here above 25, looking for 40 pence on the next push to the upside. We've already had a golden cross buy signal for the shares, and the shares rose well in the run-up to that. Onto a stock where we looked at this on Saturday, so it was on the basis of Friday's price action. The shares then on Saturday around the 60 pence level. We were looking for the shares to go up to the upper 80s, and then obviously with the takeover announced today, they managed to overshoot the runway up to 107 pence. So interesting there that the charting worked, and maybe one or two people also had a successful guess that there could be a deal for on the market coming up. Wonderful skill that can be. Moving on to Phoenix Copper, which is bouncing off the lows. We've had, I suppose, a bear trap from below the initial October support there at 15 pence. Above that, we were looking for old support for the shares at 18, and maybe this is the start of an anticipation that the company will get its funding that people have been waiting for. I suppose the company's been waiting for that too. The next stock is RC365, and here we've had the trend line break out of the falling wedge that we had, and it looks as though the shares getting into a sort of a sideways consolidation based around the 15 pence level. Above that, probably looking for the resistance on the way down, which was 35 pence is the best case scenario target, but if you're less ambitious, probably more realistic to look at 27 pence as the upside there while we're above 15. But again, this is a bit of a falling knife situation. One of my favorite stocks, just because of the cool name, is Silver Bullet, and it's had cool price action over the last month as well. Looks like we're ready quite soon to break out of this flag formation that we've had in place for the last month. Above the 90 pence zone, we're still looking for £1.40 or more by the end of next month. And this stock also backed by a golden cross signal. Serabi is next, and that's been, well, obviously as it's got gold in the name, it's done well today. Here the shares are up 8%, and hitting our first target there around 37 pence. Above 37 pence, we're looking for best case scenario target up to 42 pence, hopefully over the next week or two, maybe by the end of this month. Trustpilot is next, and it's been a slow burn for this one as well. Here finding support at old resistance around 96 pence. Above that, we're looking for £1.25, maybe by the end of next month. I think it's a gap to fill there at 108, so maybe that's the first target for the shares. Double bounce off neutral 50 RSI as well, a helpful thing there. On to Upland, which looks like it's stretching higher and higher. Recent support above 3 pence, and that old peak around 3.4 pence. Be nice if we could break that on an end, well, close above that on an end of day close basis. We're looking for 4.5 pence, maybe over the next couple of weeks if we're lucky by the end of this month. Don't want to see the shares back below 3 pence ahead of a potential move higher. Finishing off with another gold play, and it's Wishbone Gold. Here we've had a suspected rising trend channel base, the top of that channel heading for around 4.25 pence, and the stock doing well on the the latest rebound off the floor of that channel. That's around the 1.9 pence level. Above that, obviously a retest of last month's resistance at 2.75 would be great, maybe up to 4.2 pence if everything goes well by the end of the year. As you can see from the old July price action that when the stock moves, it can move quite strongly. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.